Hi, I'm Maeve. I'm a national board certified math teacher, and I helped build Studdy's intelligent tutor. I built it to lift student thinking, not just focus on getting answers. And we've put it right inside of ThinkWell to help students anytime they need it. I'm excited to show you how it works in ThinkWell today. And even though it's raining outside, you might be able to hear it. We are cozying up with our mathematics during this demo. Come along with me. So if a student needs help, all they have to do is click on their little Study Buddy. Need help. They have a few options. They can do a solver, a tutor, or even get some extra practice. The solver takes things step by step and helps the student by first framing what this question is asking in nice, friendly language and what to watch out for. I love this. Don't just look at the numbers and guess. Let's really calculate the rate of change. When I click on Next Step, I get a lovely overview. For some students, this is enough to then dig in and solve the math problem. But for others, they'll need to go step by step. Notice the mix of friendly, approachable language with proper mathematical language. So we've got the symbols, change over change, but then we're writing change over change to make sure it all makes sense to students. At any step, a student can ask a question. It also populates potential questions the student might have. I'm going to ask, hey, is this the same as rise over run? Because that's something I've heard before. And then it gives me a wonderful explanation. You're right, it is the same as rise over run, and asks me if I need to clarify it anymore. I can click out and keep going through my steps. So now it's going through the calculations. Again, a mix of friendly, approachable language and beautiful written mathematical work. Again, a student can ask a question if they're getting stuck at any point, and just keep going to solve the problem. Now let me show you what the tutor does. The tutor is student-led. It starts from whatever the student knows and helps them find their own path to finding an answer. It really focuses on problem solving. A student can choose I'm lost, I kind of get it, or if they just have a question. Let's see what happens when we say I'm lost. Again, it's going to use friendly, approachable language to unpack what the problem means, and then ask the student to give one small thing they know. Rise over run. I'm going to lean into that because that's often a phrase that students remember. Okay, so yes, rise over run. That's how we find the rate of change. Now, can we find the rise and the run from the table? Well, the rise is 2 each time. I'm seeing that pattern, but maybe I'm confused on the run because I'm getting mixed up with all those negatives. Okay, nice observation. Notice how the tutor then follows up the student thinking by showing the work, right? Okay, what about the run? Run confuses me. All those negative numbers. Notice that the student can also click the microphone button for talk to text. Okay, no sweat. The negative numbers get tricky. Again, lovely approachable language and then beautiful mathematical work. What does that equal? All right. So -2 minus the -3, is that -2 plus 3? And our tutor says, yes. I love seeing this tutor work in real time. It's such a great thing to see the different ways that it responds, always lifting student thinking, congratulating them on their work, and helping them tease apart the understanding even more. Okay, so what does it give you? I'm going to say 1. All right. So the rise is 2 and the run is 1. You're doing great. What's the rate of change? 2 over 1. I'm feeling good about that. And we're going to keep going. Okay. So now pick another pair of points. What do I do? All right. So I'll say rise is still 2. I need help with the run. And our tutor says, tell me which 2 points you're looking at and find that run. Okay. So I guess the point, the second and third is what I'll say. Okay, awesome. So it's listing out those points for me and then helping me figure out what is the run. And so maybe I'll say -2 minus a -1. And it's giving me a nice little check, right? So what happened was before we started with -2 and subtracting the -3. So we need to do that same pattern, -1 subtracting the -2. And that's what it's helping us understand here. So I need to do -1 minus the -2 instead. Okay, and what do I get? I'm gonna get 1 again. All right, and then what's the rate of change between the next points? Okay, so this slope is this, and that slope stays constant. I'm just gonna jump ahead a little bit to show you what happens at the end of the tutor. So what does it tell us about its variable to constant? I'm saying it's constant, and then let's see what happens at the end of that tutor. We get a view summary. When we view the summary, this summary is specific to this exact chat. It's completely personalized and individual. The summary gives the student things to watch out for. Hey, you had difficulty with this, you had difficulty with Rise is Still 2, and things to remember. These are these study notes that are really helpful. And then we're gonna look at these wonderful overview of steps. Calculate the rate of change between 2 points, calculate it between another pair of points, and determine if it's constant or variable. At each of these steps, you can click and see the mathematical work written out beautifully for the student. Thank you so much for joining me today for this little tour of Study's Tutor right inside of ThinkWell. Math love to you.